welcome to today's YouTube video where I am going to make some cupcakes just for you. Today's cupcakes are going to be lemon flavoured, so I'm just going to do all the preparation in order to make these cupcakes. There we go. The first ingredient you will need is 140 grams of unsalted English butter. You will then need the juice of half a lemon. The zest of half a lemon, but for this video I'm going to use the whole lemon because then there's no waste. 2 eggs that you can just get out of an egg box. Some self-raising flour, 140 grams, and 140 grams of caster sugar. 100 grams of caster sugar. That is what you will need for. The first thing you will need to do is preheat your oven and get your cupcake trays. Sorry about the noise. And get your cupcake trays out of your cupboard, and I'm going to put them just on the top of the oven. Get a spare one out just in case. Next thing I'm going to get is cupcake cases, which are actually over here. Wrong basket. Cupcake cases. There's an empty box. Cupcake cases. There's some there. Okay, awesome. And I'm also going to see if there's any food colouring in here, but I don't think there is. Pink. I don't want pink. See if I've got any yellow. Oh, I don't think there is any yellow actually. Okay, doesn't matter. Yes. I'm going to line the cupcake tray with cases. I think this one's actually a muffin tray, but it's fine because I think, actually, I'll do it in muffin cases because they're a bit bigger. So they're kind of going to be muffins rather than cupcakes, but actually you can fit more in a muffin case than you can in a cupcake case. It just makes them a bit bigger. So they might not actually be, I think this makes 12, I think it says. And this is off Good Food show. It's by someone called Lily, and they're called Lily's Lemon Cupcakes. I will leave a link in the description below, and hopefully you will enjoy making these. Right, so that is done. Just going to do that so I can see my recipe again. Line a 12-hole bunting with fairy cake cases. Done that. Beat the butter and sugar in a big bowl. Well, the first thing we need to do is weigh our ingredients. So I'm going to really quickly do that, and then I will be back. Okay, so for the next bit we are going to combine the sugar and the butter. So I've weighed out 140 grams of the unsalted butter, and I'm going to put that into my bowl. And you're going to need a wooden spoon for this. And I've also weighed out 100 grams of caster sugar that I'm also going to put in this bowl and basically beat it until it's soft. So that's gone in. Move bowls out of the way. Right, so I'm going to beat this until it's really soft. Hopefully my butter is melted enough because it was left out all morning. So with a bit of luck, it will hopefully combine. If this doesn't work, you can use a mixer. I do have a mixer in the cupboard, but unless this isn't going to work, I'm determined to do it by hand for this video because not everyone at home has a mixer. However, if it ends up not really combining, I'll get the mixer out and the video. I will be sure to take the video sound off for the mixing part because obviously the noise is not very enjoyable. Preferably without flicking it onto the floor as well, like I just did, because you don't want to waste it. My butter's not really that soft, which isn't very good for the purposes of this.
Like I said, try not to stick it onto the floor because you're wasting it. I'm not entirely sure if this is actually going to combine very well because the butter's not quite melted. I'm trying to think of how I can... I'm going to get the mixer out, possibly. I don't know actually. Might be able to get it to combine. Give me a minute.
Okay, I am back. I decided it would probably be better to stick it in the microwave for just a few seconds, and it's now starting to combine nicely. I will show you it once it looks a bit better than it does at the moment. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of extra sugar because I did spill a tiny bit on the floor while I was mixing earlier. So I'm just going to put a little bit of extra in just to make up for the tiny bit that I dropped on the floor. But yes, so if you want to combine it really easily, put it in the microwave for I put it in for 10 seconds, and it's just made it so much easier to work with. And then once you've got it sort of pale looking and it's mostly combined, you're ready to sort of do your next step, which will be adding your egg and flour, I think. Oh, it says add the lemon zest. Well, I haven't zested a lemon yet, so do we have a proper lemon zester with me? I don't think we do. I think I'm going to have to use a grater. If you don't have a lemon zester, you will need to use a grater. Be warned, it doesn't always come out the way you want it to. So this goes straight into the bowl. And hopefully it'll actually come out with the grater. It doesn't always. If you just grate however much lemon you want into your bowl. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to do all of it, just because they're really lemony and they've got a bit of a kick to them. The recipe does say half a lemon, but if I'm honest, why waste half a lemon? Because you're going to use the juice to put into your butter icing, and I will probably make double the amount of butter icing on the recipe just because I'm doing double quantities of lemon. In fact, I might just do like the majority of the lemon instead of the whole lemon. I might just do like the majority. If you find it gets stuck as well, you can always use a knife and just carefully scrape it out into your bowl. Give it a bit of a wiggle. It's a nightmare to clean a grater once you've zested. Obviously the more you can get off, the less you're wasting. So I just run a knife down along the back where you've potentially grated, and I'm going to put that in the sink. So it says add the lemon zest and then slowly stir in the eggs. Now the reason you do it slowly is so that you don't actually curdle the eggs. So what I'm going to do is crack the eggs into the bowl. Well, in this case I'm using a jug because you have to whisk them. So I'm going to crack them into the jug. First one, tiny bit of shell in that one. Just a tiny bit. And the trick with a bit of shell is you just get a fork and you just carefully flick it up the side of the jug and onto your plate. And then I think, yeah, it was just the tiniest bit, and I'm going to use the fork just to tap it for the second egg. I'm not one of those professionals that can do it one-handed. Then it says to give them a light beat. So that's a light beat. It says slowly. It says slowly stir in the eggs and fold in the flour. So I'm going to quickly combine the lemon zest into that butter and sugar mixture. Just quickly give it a bit of a... Oh, you can smell the lemon already. It smells lovely. Right. And slowly stir in the eggs. So if I put some egg in there and then stir it. I think the reason you do it slowly is so you don't curdle any of it. So I mean, you just want to kind of combine it so that it's basically going to You can do it the all-in-one way. I do usually do the all-in-one, but for the purposes of this video, I'm doing it the way that you're told to on the recipe. I did say slowly, remember that, Hayley. Yeah. I said slowly, and then it said fold in the flour. Well, you can fold it in. I will fold it in for the purpose of this video. This doesn't look very pleasant at the moment, but once the flour is in, I think it'll look a little bit better. I'll show you the camera. It doesn't look very appetising at the moment, but once the flour is starting to be folded in, I think we'll be alright. I will need a spoon for this. So the next bit, I'm going to do this so that you can see, is I'm going to get a spoonful of flour and I'm just going to drizzle it in. Does it say fold it in all at once? Oh yeah, okay. So if I put all the flour in the bowl, you can sift your flour, you don't have to. This recipe doesn't say you have to, so I haven't for the purpose of this video. I usually would, but as this recipe states to just fold it in, I'm just going to fold it in because that's what it says. It's looking a bit nicer, it's not looking amazing. I know it says fold, I just want to quickly work it in a bit. It doesn't look very liquidy, which is the only thing. But in a way, it did say 2 large eggs and I did only use 2 medium. So, because at the moment that just looks really thick for cake mix. So I think I might add another egg. I'm trying to think. It should be dropping consistency. This is the trouble. It does sort of drop, but it just looks really thick. I'm just going to scrape the bowl around the edges. Yeah, I mean it doesn't look awful, but it doesn't look dropping consistency. Doesn't say it on the recipe, but I'm going to add a tiny drop of milk just to see if we can get it a little bit less thick. But I'm just going to add a splash, so literally that'll do. I literally just added a tiny splash, probably no more than a teaspoon there, just to see if we can get it slightly thinner and slightly watery, because the milk will evaporate in the oven anyway. Doesn't say it in the recipe, and typically I may have made it a little bit wet now, maybe a little bit runny for cake mix, really. In fact, that's probably how much cake mix should be runny, to be fair. Let me just give it a bit of a... You see, that to me is cake mix, because it completely drops off a spoon. And it smells like lemons, which is always a good sign. Apologies for the noise in the background, that is the washing machine. I suppose the next stage is to divide the mixture between the cases. So this says it makes... How many does it say it makes? Hold on. Makes 12. So that's a tray worth. But in this video it'll probably make 6 because I'm using muffin cases. So I'm going to get 2 teaspoons out. Bear with me. In fact, for the purpose of this video, instead of teaspoons I'm going to use tablespoons because these are massive muffin cases. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape the spoon so that we get all the mixture. Okay, so I'm going to put the spoon in the sink. Now, so that you can see me doing this, I'm going to bring it closer and I'm going to point it down as well. So for this, I'm just going to get a spoon worth, maybe a bit less than that actually, don't know. Okay, I'm going to get a spoon worth and I'm just going to carefully nudge it in. I'm going to put them in the oven this way round so that the heat actually gets to the ones at the back. Just going to move that so it's not touching the tray. So I'm just going to put them in the oven, if I can get them in. And I'm going to set a timer for 18 minutes and then we can have a look at them. So I will see you in 18 minutes when they are ready to come out. Okay, so there is currently a minute left on our timer for our cakes. I'm just going to have a quick look as soon as the buzzer goes off so that I know whether they are ready or not. The way to know is either if you can still hear them cooking, there we go, or if they're soft to the touch, you know they're ready. So I'm going to open the oven. It's important you don't open the oven before you need to, because that will deflate them. Yeah, they're not quite very that spongy yet. Just going to flip them around a bit. I'm going to give them another minute and just see what happens, just to make sure they're done. Okay, so the alarm has sounded. I'm just going to get a wire cool rack out. Right. Yeah, they look good to me. So if you can see, the tops are open, and if you touch them, they spring back. That means they're done. So I'm just going to put them on the top of that wire rack. And then I don't need the oven, so I'm going to turn the oven off. And now we need to wait for them to cool down, so I'm going to move them into the coolest part of the house, which is the garage. Wait for them to cool down, and then I will show you the final result.